Hello, everybody. I'm going to take us live in just a second. Taking my hair down. I don't even know what it's going to look like right now. It's going to look crazy. Sorry, guys. I was getting one of those bun headaches. You know, when your hair's been up too long, get a headache from it. All right. So, do a couple hair flips and get this thing right. Okay, so I am going to take us live on the Facebooks. I did see somebody say a second ago they missed the before the momentum call meeting and they didn't know where it was, and they put that in the student group. So just a heads up, it was in the red carpet book launch group. That's where that was. And it's going to be uploaded and in the guide section. So if you missed that, it's in there. So, momentum call. And it is 4/27, 2021. This goes in the group. Right. Alrighty. Get my chat set up here. So we are going to go through some wins. Christiana, I love when I just get to follow you around the internet all day. That's it is what it feels like, right? So let's go ahead and start out with some wins, you guys. Crazy hair. I'll start. One of my wins is I have a interview with the Australian News. The loss in that win is it's at 4:45 tomorrow morning. I'm like, what? So anywho, that's happening. But super excited about that. But go ahead and unmute yourself. Let's hear your wins of what is happening in your world.
I have a win.
Let's hear it.
I went live with Megan Larson on Instagram yesterday, and I didn't die.
And you didn't die, Derek, but did you die?
That's the win. That's the win.
Yeah.
It was great.
Oh, I love it. I love Instagram lives. Those are fun. Congrats.
Yeah, I mean, we had a little bit of trouble trying to figure out how to actually get me on. But it worked out.
That's even better, though. Then you've got a story. It's good stuff. Who else has a win, you guys? I'm going to put us into gallery here.
Martha, I have a small win.
Oh, let's hear it.
So we lost our German Shepherd that's been part of our family for 14 years last summer in July. And my dream was to have a small dog. And my husband said, not until you can afford to take care of it. Guess what?
Oh, what kind of dog is that? Oh,
The Yorkie Poo.
Yorkie Poo. Hi, Yorkie Poo. What's Yorkie Poo's name?
This is Tucker.
Tucker. What a cute name. How old is Tucker?
He's 10 weeks.
Oh, he's so cute. Oh, is he chewing? Yeah.
Yes.
Getting those teethers. Yeah.
But that was a win for me because my husband said, no, not until you can afford every bill on that dog.
You're like, checkmate. I got you, bro.
Try me.
Challenge accepted. This dog is mine. We're getting ready to get hamsters.
Good luck with those.
I know. That's where I'm at too.
We also have a mini lot that's twice his size.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she
Aw.
is literally twice the dog size, a rabbit.
Oh my word. Oh my goodness. That's amazing.
So it's been a fun house for the last week and a half.
I bet. Who else, you guys? Who else has some wins? And then we're gonna go into something from last week, because I told somebody last week that I was gonna talk about this, so I'll talk about it, and then we can go into like other questions and stuff like that. Let's hear some more wins.
I have some little wins.
Let's hear it.
So you inspired me a couple months ago when you started the whole Clubhouse train to go on Clubhouse.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm all over the place talking and hosting rooms and doing all sorts of stuff. And I have my own little baby club called Empowered Growth now.
Oh, I love it. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm all over the place. That's all. I mean, just have fun with it, right? It just doesn't have to be boring. I love it. That's awesome. Yeah.
My lead group just finished a 3-week gratitude practice. We're starting a new unit on overcoming limiting beliefs or replacing them with ones that better serve us. And I'm about to launch a group coaching using Aroma Freedom in mid-May to accelerate that limited belief clearing.
Oh, I love it. Oh, that's going to be so helpful for people. I love it. How did it go for you?
The gratitude challenge was super easy. I had scheduled daily prompts that were pre-scheduled, and 5 days a week I went in and did a little bit of a live video just to keep the momentum and the excitement. People in the group said that the posts were showing up on their feed first thing every day, which made it easy for them to participate.
That's perfect.
Engagement, and that was fun.
Oh, Sandy, that's awesome. I'm proud of you. Congrats.
Thanks.
Congrats. Suzette, I see your hand. Are you able to unmute?
Okay, there we go. Sorry.
There. You're good.
So I've been coming to some of the momentum calls for a couple of weeks, kind of being a wallflower and observing. And finally, we just made some good changes, set up a desk in a bedroom that I finally have some kind of peace and quiet where I can sort of get to. So it's a little bit of figuring out the technology and stuff right now, but just really good things the last week. And I'm just super thankful for you, Martha. And I'm super thankful for so many of the people and all the encouragement. Yeah, I can just feel there's so much coming and so much is happening. And my husband and I have been just really both in it together. And that's been kind of a prayer of my heart. Not that he has ever been against this. It's just been, he's trying to keep the plate spinning on our other main business and what we're doing. And it's just feeling like all of a sudden he and I are getting time to talk and we're getting time to work at it. And we're going, wait a minute, there's a bigger part of how this is like coming together. And it's sort of making me stop and look at all my like, well, I was doing this bat signal and I was going this way and I was, and then I'm like, wait a minute. Cause it's like, now I'm sort of shifting through, is it me? Is it you? Is it us? Sorting all that out. So we're figuring that out. But the momentum feels good. The energy feels good. We've done a couple of the AFT sessions and I'm just so thankful. And I feel like every time you come on, Martha, whether it was this morning encouraging with how you're speaking to your kids and I'm in the car driving the kids to school and I have 3 minutes in the parking lot with them before they launch for the day. And I was like, wait a minute, I have to fill you with affirmations. And they both just tuned in and they're 10 and 14. We're getting that awkward teen stage and life is weird. And they both were just so dialed in and we hugged each other. I was like, we're hugging in the parking lot, right? I mean, they're hugging mom in the parking lot. And they just launched off and had good days. And I mean, you were in Cabo and I was like, okay, Martha's doing some interesting stuff. And there's been a lot of other things that I want to share, but I just feel like a lot's happening.
Yeah.
And I just am so thankful for you. So that's my
Aw.
quick win for everything.
Oh, thank
Thank
you. I'm thankful for you guys. This is we're all doing this thing together, and I appreciate you guys doing it as well, because this is a big there are big things coming and already here. We're in the midst of it. We're in the midst. And it's just like massive.
Yeah.
Massive. And I can't even say all of it because I don't even know all of it. Like I know that the things that I know are like minimal compared to what's about to happen, because I have an idea, but we're going to be with some of the biggest players on the planet, and doing these things and being supported and backed by some of the biggest players on the planet. Like it's just insane, the amount of just like whoosh that's about to happen. So some people are already experiencing it, and some people everybody will experience it in their own time. It's a lot of it, just so you guys know, like people that are watching, if you're like, but I'm not there yet, it's okay. It's a personal development thing, you guys. It's a personal development journey. And as you're developing, like we try to shorten the learning curve on even your personal development, but there are some things that you just have to go through in order to be able to grow, right? There are some things that you just have to go through. So if you're not experiencing like that whoosh yet, don't worry, it's coming. It's coming. Just keep going. Just keep going. Who was next? Devery was next, and then LaShonda. So Devery, I'm going to lower your hand.
This is just a little thing. I started HBR back in July, retired in August, went through hell and high water since then. Became a certified ULA coach. I'm doing the ambassador thing. I'm getting all my HBR ducks in order. But what I'm really excited about is I started reading books to children. And the first book, you can't see the cover, but the first book is Charlotte's Web. And I just posted the first video to Instagram to hopefully in the future get reconnected with my grandson who we've been separated from.
I love you. I'm sorry. I love that. I'm gonna try not to cry too. I know what you're going
not
through.
Gonna cry. I'm not gonna
Yep.
cry. I'm not gonna cry.
I know what you're going through, and I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I love how you turn that, how your perspective on that is now, I'm going to read to all of the kids. I'm going to read to everybody, and hopefully it brings back, but in the process, it's such a service to everybody. So,
well, and, I'm seeing all these little kids that, whatever parent situations or foster situations or adopted areas, that maybe they can just plug in and have an adult read to them at bedtime, or think about sitting on somebody's lap and getting loved.
yeah.
It's on Instagram right now, but it's going to be on YouTube also.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I'll have Nora watch it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It's on the My Boy Hank. It's __.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm writing that down.
Yay.
Yay. I love that. All right, LaShonda, let me lower your hand here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have been in HBR since the first week you opened it up, and have been wondering, how do I monetize some of my skills and experiences, and really just had to believe in myself and work on my mindset.
Right.
And saying yes despite all kinds of imposter syndrome and all of the things. I said yes to doing the book collaboration with Megan, and as a result of that, she asked me, hey, your copy was pretty clean. Do you have editing experience? And I said, actually, I spent a decade and a half doing reading and English and editing other people's work. And she added me to her course as an editor. And I've already gotten 3 children's books from that and another mom's group I'm in. I've gotten a novel from a woman in there and I'm editing her book. And the feedback I'm getting is amazing. Like, where were you? I needed you. And so even as I'm working on other things to put them in place, this is something that's already up and running and going. And I just had to be willing to put myself out there
Yes.
and get over the imposter syndrome of who are you to do that? And instead I said, well, you know what? I can do that. And I did. And now it's already coming at me in waves that are bigger than I thought they could be. And so like, it's editing and it's not exciting, but I'm about to cry because I didn't allow myself to believe I could. And now I know I can. And so I'm telling everyone I can. I'm telling myself I can.
God bless you.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you so much. You guys, what you are seeing firsthand is our success rarely looks like what we think it's going to be. Okay? Rarely does it look like what we think it's going to be. We need to allow for something completely different to happen. What we do is we focus on our goal. What is our goal? What do we want to do? Where do we see ourselves? What do we desire? Where do we end up? And let go of the how and what it looks like. And then just allow for these other things. They'll start coming into your world. And then you say yes to those things. And all of a sudden you're in a whole different place. And you're like, well, I didn't expect that, but dang, this is happening, right? Like that's how it works. That's how it really works. It's whenever we put it in a strangle and when we put our idea in a stronghold and we're like, like headlock in our idea and we're like, you're gonna submit and it's gonna be this and right? That's where you kill it. That's how it dies. We have to allow for whatever God has for us to come in and stop thinking that we're the ultimate end, that we decide. If we decide, we lose, period. That's how that goes.
Yeah.
Man, I love that, LaShonda. You just crushed.
Thank you.
Christy Stapler, I'm going to lower your hand here. How are you doing, lady?
I'm doing good. I've had something interesting happening this month, and I just wanted to, I wouldn't have noticed it if I hadn't been doing HBR.
Okay.
I've not got income producing from the things I'm doing in HBR yet.
Okay.
But what I am doing is I'm showing up and doing something every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing it in more than one area. And all of a sudden, I'm putting that in quotes, things are fitting together and happening. And for those of you that are familiar with Young Living, I haven't been silver for the last 3 or 4 months. And because I was doing things, I even asked one of my upline, I said something about a person that was placed into my upline, and I asked about it, and they said, well, you're kind of all over the internet these days. Maybe it has something to do with that. And, so people are noticing what I'm doing, and it is going to result in more income this month, even though I'm not officially getting income from new things yet. I thought it was interesting.
It is interesting. Huh. I love that. That's exactly how it works.
I know.
That's the omnipresent thing, right? When we're always top of mind, we're always top of mind. And and it doesn't even matter what it's for. It's just like, man, I keep seeing Martha. Man, I keep seeing Christy. Oh, that's right. She does oils. Oh, that's right. How about go over to Christy? I've been seeing Christy all the time. Like we're literally just always, that's the omnipresent thing, right? Is that we're always top of mind, that it will grow everything. It will grow everything 100%. That's exciting. I love it. And I love that somebody's like, well, you're all over the internet now. Did you ever think anybody was going to tell you that you were all over the internet? Yeah, right? Isn't that funny? Oh man, we are just owning the internet. There's nothing better in life that has ever happened to the internet until us. Like we are the best thing that has ever happened to the internet. Britt, I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand, and then we're going to hit up some questions, or I'm going to talk about something, and then we'll go into questions.
Thank you. So I mentioned a couple weeks ago about how someone finally came forward in my lead group and was telling me that they were happy to be there and that they liked what I was doing. And I told everyone to keep doing the things, because even if people aren't commenting, like, it's gonna get there. And then today my sister posted, she took something from one of my live videos that I did in my group and she turned it into a quote. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when I'm doing those videos, I don't even really think about, like, I'm not paying attention to what I say. Yeah. And so I like to go back and listen to it. And the quote that she captured was just the essence of me. And I totally forgot that I said it. I didn't even realize that, what was going on. And it filled my heart with so much joy, because it meant something to her, and then it meant enough for her to go and share it on her pages. And so, like, there are days when I feel so defeated and I'm like, am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right track? Am I speaking to the right people? And you might say, well, she's your sister. So no, like, this was a big deal that, that she took those words and shared them. And so it was just, keep doing the things. I know that the lane I'm in is the right one. And even though some days it doesn't feel like it, like, it's just little bits of validation, like, you're in the right space, keep it going. And so yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys.
I love that. And you guys, check out the HBR student group after this, and she's posted the quote. It was in there or in Heart Centered. It was one of those places, or both. Yeah. But look at that. Very, very cool. So cool, you guys. This is what we're doing here, right? This is what we're doing here. We continue to show up regardless. And I would even say, like, on those days, because I always have to, whenever I hear you say, like, on days that you don't, like, I always have to kind of like, let me give you a hack on those days. So those days when you're not feeling like maybe as worthy, or if you're not feeling, or you're just feeling a little bit down or something like that, that's where I would have a conversation with God. That's where I would say, show me my mission. Show me what I'm here for. Show me something. I need to see something today, right? And this is where we really need to have this communication. We can't just, there are a couple different types of people, and this is if you're a praying person, and if you're not, this, whatever. But for me, like, I used to be a person that I would pray before dinner. And I wouldn't really pray much else other than that. And within the last 6 years or so, that's where I've, like, my relationship has completely blossomed into full-on conversations, and just asking for things. God wants a relationship with us, and let's just be sure, like, let's ask for stuff when we need something. Let's ask for it instead of, like, trying to figure things out on our own. Like, let's just, we're created to be in commune. So anyway, I'll get off of that topic, but just, it makes my days easier for me. If I'm having a rough day, then I'll just be like, man, I need to see something, just brighten it up. And then I'll get, like, messages, and it'll be like, hey, I just wanted to tell you this today. And then I'm like, thank you. That's exactly what I needed. Thank you. Suzette, I will put your hand down. Go ahead.
So I was just going to encourage you. It was just this afternoon, and my husband was sharing some stuff about work for him, and it was struggling. And I got in and I was heading back to pick the kids up from school, and a song came on, and I have listened to it probably 9 times this afternoon. And I was probably the car at the light bouncing, which I'm never the 40-year-old lady with her car so loud with the music. But this praise song had me crying. And what you just shared, I was like, I want to share this with you. And it's funny that this is something you brought up, Martha, and it encouraged me so much, because I felt myself in a spot of what you shared. But it's Jonathan Traylor, if y'all know the song, You Keep On Coming Through. And the lyrics are, Lord, you are good all the time. And the part that repeats over and over through his song is, As I sing your praise, let my worry fade. Let all my hope be restored. Let my memories remind me of what you did before. And then it just repeats. You keep on coming through. Lord, you're good all the time. And I'm getting chills because it brought me back to, okay, God, I haven't seen you work this part out yet. But as I sing your praise, remind me that the worry can fade and you're going to come through again. And it's like, I feel like sometimes we forget that God's going to come through again. I feel like he brought us through that trial or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay, we've made it to the sunny side. Like there's not more bumpy roads ahead. But I'm just going to encourage you, find that song, Jonathan Traylor. It'll encourage you. So it encouraged me.
I love it. I wrote it down. So I'm going to listen to it.
It's a good one.
I'm excited. Thank you. Celine, we go.
Hey,
I'm
morning,
going to lower your hand.
everyone.
Hello.
Thank you. Am I unmuted? I want to, okay.
Yeah.
Under the heading of what you were saying, I think I was listening to a podcast today and it's exactly what you're talking about. Wayne Jacobson is an author and he was talking about how we try, we get so caught up in religion, the hoop jumping, the sit, stand, kneel, we go to church on Sundays and we do youth on, and we forget it's about the relationship. And we are trying to do the things. So we will listen to a podcast or read a book and go, okay, I'll do this, and this, so I can have that. Instead of, okay, just rest, hear him. If we're not hearing him, maybe it's because we're not trained to be still and quiet enough to take that time to actually hear him. And it can take time to deprogram from it's taken me years to deprogram from all the extraneous, superfluous stuff to it's just God. And whatever that direction is, if it's silent words or if you hear something or, you've talked a lot about the different ways that you've been inspired and connected. And it's a matter of us just letting him do it and following him instead of trying to create, contrive, do whatever we think we're supposed to do rather than, okay, God, I'm going to give this to you. And please just, like you said, just show me what you want me to do. Where do you want me to go? And then here, wait, be still.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. We, by nature, I think we all try to do things on our own, right? It's almost part of it's part of the working part of the fall and whatever, like we've got to work in our minds. We're like, we've got to do these things where we realize like we can also just surrender. We can also just let it all go because the work part is not of him. Right. Right. Okay. So I want to talk about one thing because I said I was going to talk about it in a post that happened last week. It was a post I made last week. It was in response to something else, but the post was basically about people getting overwhelmed and trying to do all of the things and then getting paralyzed and not able to do any of the things. So I just wanted to talk really quickly on that and then also field questions if you guys specifically have questions, because there were a lot of co-signers on that post. And what I mean by co-signers are me tooers, people that are like, oh, that's me, oh, that's me, oh, that's me, which is fine. But let's work through it instead of just saying that's me and now I'm just stuck, right? Because none of us are here to be stuck. We're all here to move and to get things going. And maybe things don't look the way that you want them to look right now, but let's get them into a place where they do. Does that sound fair, you guys? Cool. So how to decide what to do first. So the very first thing, whenever you've got a list, first of all, whenever people get to the point of overwhelm that they have just completely shut down and they're like, I just can't. One thing that I see whenever people do that is that they have watched everything, but they haven't implemented anything. Okay. So, and I'm not saying that anybody's right or wrong about that. Here, let me put speaker view on just for people on Facebook. So whenever we watch everything and we don't do anything, what happens is this: we're going through it and we're like, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I can see how that would work. That I get it. I get it. All right, I get it. I get it. I get it. You get to the end and you're like, but now what do I do? Well, you got to do all the things that you just said you got. So you have to go back, and it's okay to go through it. There are certain people that it is in their character to need to go through it first, understand the lay of the land, and then go back and then make it happen. But if that's you, it's okay. Don't forget the going back and making it happen part. Because whenever we go back and we make it happen, then you watch and you do. And then you watch and you do. I'm not, like I said, I'm not at all saying it's wrong to watch everything first. If that's what you need to do, then do it by all means. But do remember that the most important step is the going back and the doing it part, because you'll get to the end and you'll be like, I get it all. It all makes sense, but what do I do? Well, I mean, you go back and you do it. And so another thing that somebody mentioned is that they were watching all of the stuff and then they weren't having time to do it. So let me say this. We need to make time. So I mentioned this on Diamond Lane earlier today. My suggestion is that when you're first learning this stuff and you're first starting to implement this stuff, what we need to do is you need to spend 75% of your time. Now, keep in mind, that's a percentage. That's not a number of hours. It's just a percentage of the amount of time that you're going to spend that day on your stuff. 75% of the time should be spent learning. Okay, so watching the videos or whatever. 25% of your time should be spent implementing. Okay, there should never be a day that goes by that is all learning and zero implementation. Never in your life should there be a day that goes by, not just with HBR, but with anything. I'm going to tell you that. With anything, we should always be implementing as we're learning. And I'm not saying you implement the same amount of time that you learn. I'm saying learn a bulk of the time and then spend 25% of the time implementing and actually doing something with what you just learned. Okay? Or else what you learned means nothing. I don't want what you learned to mean nothing. We have to actually do it. Okay, guys? Now, whenever you get to the point that you're out in the pasture, so to speak, and you're like, oh, my stuff is set up for the most part, like there's always going to be things that are growing and adding in and stuff like that. But for the most part, my stuff is set up. I feel good, right? Then that flips. Then every day, you're still spending 25% of your time learning something. I learn every single day. I'm always constantly reading or consuming something. 25% of your day should be learning. 75% of, not of your day, of your time that you've allotted to work that day should be implementing. So it's just learning and doing. The time flips whenever your stuff is all set up. Okay. So even if you've only got an hour a day that you're going to spend on it, no big deal. 45 minutes of that in the beginning, 45 minutes of that as you're setting things up, 45 minutes is learning, 15 minutes is doing. Okay. That's how that goes. And then, you know, as it's set up, then it goes into, it flips. So that is extremely, extremely important. Now, how to decide what to do first on your list of things that are paralyzing you. Okay. First of all, make a list. If you're paralyzed, it's super likely you don't even have a list. It's super likely it's all swimming around in your head I've got all of these things that I need to do. I don't even know where to start. Ba, 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 ba. It probably feels a bit like that. Let me know. Does it feel like that? It probably feels a bit like that. So I can say that because I know I've been there. That's how I know this. Okay, guys. So whenever you're in that space of like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do, I don't even know, blah, 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 blah. Your brain doesn't know, your mind doesn't know, because like you're in that place, you're in a chaotic place. So you're literally in the place where, have I told you the story about Mike and the dog and Herman? Where we lost Herman, we thought we lost Herman, and Mike's running around the neighborhood. I am like trying to remain calm. He's freaking out, like, where's Herman? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, he's got to be around here somewhere. Anyway, I look around calmly in the kitchen. I open the pantry door, look down, and there's Herman. He's in the pantry. And Mike comes back, or I go back, I take Herman out to him in the neighborhood. And he's like, where'd you find him? And I was like, he's in the pantry. And Mike was like, but I looked in the pantry. And I said, well, your mindset at that point, Mike, was that you thought Herman was gone. And so you literally didn't see him in the pantry because you believed he was gone. So you looked in the pantry and you literally didn't see our dog because your brain wouldn't allow you to, because you decided he was gone. Does that, like, it's a real thing that happens, guys. Like it just happened the other day at the airport. He thought that he lost his luggage. Like he got my luggage off of the thing and then he didn't see his suitcase. And then he looks back and he's like, because he's like, I lost my luggage again, because he's lost his luggage before. He goes, and I'm like, I'm sure it's there. And he goes, no, I've seen them all go through. And I said, just wait for it to go around again. I'm sure it's here. And there it comes, just round on the little conveyor belt. I'm like, we believe these things, and then life happens to support those things that we believe. Okay. So let's instead believe new things. All right. Let's challenge ourselves to believe new things. And so instead of believing there's this chaotic swarm in my head and I'm like, I can't get it, I don't know, there's too many things. Say, no, I choose to know these things. I'm going to list them out and I'm going to make this easy. Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and write down the things that I need. Calm down. If you need a decaf, if you need a tea, whatever, calm yourself down. Write out the list. Write out the list with the goal in mind of what is your goal in the next year? Where do you want your business to be? Where do you want your finances to be? Where do you want, what do you want out of your house? Like, what do you want your goals to be? Get that in your mind, get your mind focused on that, and then make a list of what gets you there. Okay, so what are the things I need to do? Via HBR, what are the things that I need to do? All right. And then once you have those things, it gets very easy. Okay, well, in order to do this, I need to do this. Okay, cool. Well, in order to do this, I need to, all right. And then the very first thing that we should do is the thing closest to income, right? So get the landing pages done, get the Acuity link done, get the, if you're setting up group coaching, complete your course. What is the thing that is the first thing that somebody can buy? Because I hear so many people saying, I need to make money, but you don't have a sales page up. It's not gonna magically come. We do have to create the things in order to bring it in. So it's like it's all available to us, but don't cut yourself off at the knees because you're not slowing down to be able to make a list and then get the things done and start crossing things off the list. Crossing things off the list has a physiological effect on us. It has a chemical effect on our brain. And it's almost like it's almost like a heightening, it's almost like a drug of sorts where we're like, yeah, I want more of that. I want to feel that good again. Okay. And that's what happens when we cross things off lists. Now, when I can't even make a list, I'm just stuck, that does nothing good for you. Okay. And if you're there, it's a simple decision to stop that, right? It's a simple decision to say, okay, that's a little dramatic. All right. That's not me. I'm more focused than that. Even if you don't know yourself to be focused yet, you are. So claim it. I'm more focused than that. Let me go ahead and write down my list and let's start crossing things out like the boss I am. Right? Like let's just do that. What questions do you guys have about that? Go ahead and unmute yourself if you have a question about that specifically.
Can I just say that I am laughing my head off over here because the other day I realized that I didn't go very far yet on the modules and I'm over here like, and then I start listening to some of the modules and I'm like, oh, right, get back on track because it's like I'm like not the instructions follower. I tried to do the thing first and I'm showing up for all these lives and I'm like, this is awesome. I got the ideas. I'm starting some stuff over here and then I'm like, I'm lost. And then I see the modules and I'm like, oh yeah, modules, the instructions might actually help.
The modules.
It's just very funny.
I make them so short for you guys. Like I literally make them so short for you that it's not like all day that you have to watch or anything, but y'all are like, nope.
It's like I literally forgot about them, It's like I'm showing up at these things and I'm like, oh yeah, I actually have a set of instructions over here I could follow.
Oh man. You guys
Martha, I have a
crack me up.
question around this.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I mentioned in the earlier call that I had my YouTube channel up and going. And, I don't have thumbnails on all of them. They're just, me making funny faces in the middle of my speech. You know what I'm talking about. But I haven't built my moneymaker and I'm still not 100% sure what I'm going to do. I'm a life coach. And so I really would like to build a course or I don't know, but so are you telling me that it's not as important to get my YouTube channel looking pretty as it is to get something built?
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me. Okay.
That's 100% what I'm telling you. Yeah.
Okay.
It's we really, I think this needs to be addressed because I attract I don't know why I keep taking my glasses off. Heather probably has something to say about that. There's probably some sort of body language that I'm doing right now that she's probably like, Martha, I'm going to tell you later. But what we need to do is so I attract heart-centered people because I am, right? So like I attract that which I am. So I attract heart-centered people that are creating incomes, building this stuff for themselves, right? So in doing so, I maybe need to talk more about the money generating part of it, because in being heart-centered, we almost are killing ourselves not to do the money generating part of it. We almost paralyze ourselves, cancel clear. We almost paralyze ourselves, cancel clear again, it's hard to do cancel clear when you repeat yourself so much, but to help and to get all of the things up and going and perfect and before we actually have an income generating thing. And so we're serving and stuff, which is perfect. That's great. But we also need to have a next step for them, because it is not serving them for us to not have a next step available. Because if you guys saw me on YouTube or something and you're like, oh man, she knows her stuff, I really like her, and then I gave you no next step, no other way to work with me, no way that I can help you with your own business, wouldn't that be like, oh, that sucks. I don't think she has anything. I think she's just like rah, makes me feel good, but I don't know that she actually has anything that can help me. Like I don't see it. And obviously if it doesn't exist, they're not going to see it.
Right.
But like, we need to make that stuff in order to support our people, because they're like waiting for it.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, yeah, it is. I mean, I'm going to keep throwing videos out there because I have them.
Sure.
I probably have close to 30 to 40 videos, and I'm taking my lives and I'm throwing them out there. But again, I'm thinking I can't stand it. I'll have to look at it like this. I'll go into it and look at it like, because I can't stand it. But that's okay. I know I need to build for my people. I realize that, and they're being receptive to what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But
you're adorable.
now,
I'm just saying, like, I would watch you all day long. So that's I understand that you don't want to watch yourself. I don't want to watch myself either, but I do watch myself because I need to see what happened right and where I goofed. And that's a learning experience. We do need to watch ourselves, guys, on our videos. As silly as it looks to sit and watch your own video and how you feel like, I hope nobody sees me watching my own video, right? But we do need to see, like, where it landed, the things that we said that worked, and the things that, like, maybe it didn't land so well or whatever. Like, it's a constant learning experience. So, so that's important too.
I have to say one quick thing. My husband will be scrolling through videos and I'll pop up as an offering and I'll start talking and I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And I mean, I'm one of his top offerings on his videos. And so, yeah, he's like, baby, here you are. Baby, here you are. Oh, baby, look, here you are. But I hate it when I'm just sitting there beside him in the living room and all of a sudden I hear myself start talking. I'm like, I hear myself enough. Shut her up, Michael. Shut her up.
Shut her up. But watch that whole YouTube video before you shut her up. You want that watch time.
That's right. That's right. Watch me, but then shut me up.
Just put me on mute.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, man. That's awesome. Megan, I see your hand up. I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand.
Hey, okay. So I really just wanted to encourage everyone because this morning you said something on your live and it totally called me out. And it was just like the smallest thing. And I've been watching you for like over a year now. And for whatever reason, I just did not pick up on this one little thing that you said. And you were talking about goals and you were like, if you're beating yourself up, because you didn't hit your goal for last week financially. And then you said, and if you don't even have goals that you're setting financially, then we need to talk. And I was like, oh, I just got called out. I have never set a weekly, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to do it. And this isn't like any kind of boastful thing, but from yesterday to today, this week, I have already made 89% more than the week before. And I was like, I feel a little dumb. I'm not, and I cancel that, but right. It was one of those things, where we're like, sometimes we can be watching all the things and doing all the things and it's the tiny little things that we are missing. And so it happens to all of us. So don't beat yourself up, just learn it, hear it, and then do it. And yeah, it's all about the implementation. So I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I saw that. I saw your thing in that where you felt called out. That was it. And watching those daily videos, not that you guys have to spend all your time watching me all day. I'm not saying that at all, but that's why the videos are so short. But watch those because little stuff falls out of those. Little stuff of just daily whatever falls out of those. And sometimes, and the reason that I do them in the morning is so they can set the tone for your day. And so hopefully I can help with your mind for the rest of the day, to be in a place of growth and to be in a place of thinking bigger, that's my goal. So yeah, thank you, Megan. Appreciate that. Brandy, I see your hand up. I'm going to lower your hand.
Okay, I am so excited that this is actually what we're talking about today because it's the question that I dropped. It's like divine timing because whoever asked that
whether it was an HBR about the overwhelm, having too much. That was me. I'm an Enneagram 8, wing 7. So I like things to be fun. I'm a red, blue, and I like things to be pretty. So you could go to my website and it's like all this, and I've created a lead magnet. I have like my lead group. I've been working on my fertility course now for months. And so you really kind of give me a swift kick in the behind, but whomever asks those questions and you're like, whatever's going to make you the money first, that's what you need to be doing. And just this week, I've been praying about it. Like, what's that supposed to look like? What are the offerings supposed to be? How do you get that set up? What should I call it? Does it need to mimic Diamond Lane? And I'm not in Diamond Lane because I was paying money to ULA, which that's a whole nother thing. I'm an ULA coach, and I just had to like take a step back and kind of like put that on the back burner and say that's like a chunk that I'm going to be able to offer clients later on. But now I need to kind of focus on, you know, my personal brand and what I'm having to offer. So in that, I'm now going to offer group coaching. And I believe it's going to be kind of like a functional fertility coaching. And so I guess it would be the next steps. If that is somewhere, or I know that you mentioned just acuity, is that like how people pay? And then just getting that set up through, Get Oiling. And then just really kind of what that looks like. If you have any suggestions on what the group coaching would look like, how often do you meet each week? Those sorts of things.
So for, I'll give you like a breakdown of Diamond Lane, and then I 100% expect for when I create, like, when I tell you about like these different things, I expect for you guys to utilize the wireframe of them. I expect because I'm doing what works. And so I expect, I mean, not the same thing that I'm doing, right? But like the wireframe of like, make it work for you in what you do, right? Does that make sense? So, because I don't want you to be me. You shouldn't be me because you're doing your own thing, right? That's what I'm trying to say. But, because that is a big mistake that entrepreneurs make very early in the game. They try to mimic somebody else instead of being themselves.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
God bless it, man. But so for Diamond Lane, the way that I do that, first of all, you don't need acuity for that. You can do that with straight up Get Oiling. You can do monthly payments through Get Oiling. It will do that. Okay. So you don't need to worry about anything else. The way that I have Diamond Lane set up is Diamond Lane doesn't actually take out money every month. That is something I consciously chose. I consciously chose for people to opt in every month. They decide if they want to make that payment that month or not. So I don't want something that just blindsides somebody, not blindsides, because people know what they sign up for, but I don't want them to be like, oh man, it just hit again. I didn't mean for it to hit again. I don't ever want somebody's feeling of me to be like, dang, she just took money again. Like, I didn't mean for her to do that. Like, I don't ever want people to feel that way. Okay. So what I've done is they pay once, and then the next month they pay again, and then they pay again and they pay again. And that's how we have that set up. The back end is a little, not tedious, but it requires a little bit more work that way. So I have one of my admins that actually reaches out to people whenever their date comes up, because we set it up as a activity in Get Oiling to reach out to that person on that day of the month. So whenever their day comes, we just reach out and say, hey, it looks like the membership's over with. If you want to re-sign up, here's the link. If not, then we give them 3 days, and then we just remove them from the group. So the activity is then set up for 3 days out to remove them from the group if they haven't purchased it. Okay. So it's a very easy thing, but that's how we've worked it out and how we've set it up. It did take us a little bit of time to get around to that. So that just cut off a huge learning curve right there. So
I appreciate that from a student's standpoint, because that's how it was. That's how it is with ULA, with their coaching resources. And I was finding myself paying for the coaching resources, but not actually utilizing them yet. So, you know,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would have much rather been paying $97 for Diamond Lane, but you know what I mean? So I need some cash like coming in. And so this is great. Okay.
Absolutely. And the way that I actually do the coaching is it's in a group, right? So there's a Diamond Lane Facebook group, and there's in the guide section, I have a place where they can ask their questions. So those questions where they ask that place where they ask questions, those get answered every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on a Facebook Live. I do a 15 to 20 minute Facebook Live at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I answer those questions that they've asked. So people are always getting their questions answered. And then on Tuesday and Thursday, we have a group coaching that's an hour of, it's like this, right? But it's just a lot less people. So it's a lot of, well, the people that you see having the most success are in Diamond Lane, right? Because they've got so much access, and because they literally can ask me things all the time, and I can help them in more of a one-on-one way, sort of. It's still group coaching, but it's like a smaller group coaching. And yeah, so that's the way that I handle my group coaching, if that's helpful.
Yep. And then would you recommend having a landing page and a sales page where they could go and they can opt in? Do you have one that
It's not pretty. It ain't pretty. So I am notorious for not having pretty sales pages. Okay. I'm notorious for not having pretty sales pages because I'm like, well, if you want this stuff, you're going to get it anyway. But so it's not pretty, but what I do basically is I just let people know what they're going to get in that, right? So here's what you're going to get out of it. That's what a sales page should always be about, not about what we deliver, more about what they're going to get out of it. Now, there's a tiny bit right before they buy something where you say it's delivered in this way. So 2 Zoom calls a week, like however many you want to do. Mine's really inexpensive, but I that's by design, you know. It's $97 a month. It's super inexpensive for that amount of access. Like, it's ridiculous, but that's by design because I need you guys to know what you're doing. I need you to, I mean, we've got a mission here, you know, so that's what that's all about. Jaylene, I love your sales page, Martha. Short and sweet. They certainly are. People laugh at me. One person even got a little mad that my sales page wasn't great. And I'm like, then maybe I'm not your person, and that's okay. It's all right. I know what I'm doing. I just don't want.
I love
have
to
a
make
big sales
things
page.
pretty, and so I love using Canva. I even thought about making it a little mini course on Canva because I love it so much. But
yeah,
this is also helpful. So thank you so much.
You got it. You got it. Megan, I see your hand is up. I'm going to lower your hand, and then Hannah, you are next, and then we're going to pop out for the evening.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. I just got
Oh man, you just cut out.
out of swimming lessons with my toddler, so I'm so glad I caught him. A quick question.
Good.
Yes. Okay. My toddler is yelling, so I apologize. Okay. So quick question. I have a lead group that I've had for over a year that I started when I started following you. That's for my network marketing company.
Yeah.
However, for the last 3 months, I've been doing a mentorship program for my company.
Uh-huh.
So those two can't really have a lead page together, I don't think, but they're both not really my bat signal. So my bat signal is more like helping women who, like, I've been through divorce. My ex-husband fell into mental health addiction, and it was pretty traumatic. So that's my bat signal. That's what I want to do. But I don't know how, like, I don't want to let any of them go, but I don't think I can put them all together.
Ah, okay. So the only time that I ever suggest 2 lead groups, I don't suggest 2 lead groups because it drives you like nuts. Okay. Because you're literally kind of 2 people, 2 faces, not 2-faced. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to talk to this and you have to talk to this, and then you have to like separate, and it's rough. But the only time I ever suggest it is when it's a product for a network marketing company like that, like specifically. And I mean a product, like a service that you're creating for the people that work in a network marketing company, not a product in a network marketing company, but a product that you've made, an educational product for one. And because that's what I had to do. And then something else. That's the only time I suggest it. But here's the thing. You're going to need to have support. You're going to need to have somebody that can help you run the one that isn't your heart and soul. Okay?
Okay, yeah, and so, sorry to interrupt you. That's pretty much what I've done. I took my Young Living Lead group and I put all of my builders, I gave them tasks. They do all the posts, they do everything. I'll pop in and do a live, but I don't really, that's not where I focus all my time, but that, I don't have a lead group for my bat signal right now. And then my mentorship one is for anyone in my whole company. So I just feel like they can't tie together with that right now as like my income is a monthly subscription. And I've created like specific courses within that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I could have two and then just try to leave my other one to my builders. Is that kind of what you're saying?
I would, well, the one that's actually like a member group or a lead group for your team specifically, that's something your leaders need to handle that. Like that's the mini mall, so to speak, like they need to handle that. The one that's like the mentorship part, that's, I mean, you need help. You need to hire somebody to help you if you're going to do that. Because if your bat signal one is the one that actually needs to be alive, like that needs to be started, created, need to get that going. That needs to be like created. This other one with the mentorship, if that's not your heart and soul, then you need to have people that help you run that. And they can post as things that you would say, as things that you want to be in there, but they need to be managing that, so to speak. Does that make sense? Because you're not going to be,
yeah.
This is going to crush you.
Okay. Yeah, and
your baby
I'm
is
a
the
single mama to a
cutest
2-year-old.
I am
She's-
loving this noise that's
She's
happening
saying bubbles.
right now.
She's like, she's just hanging out back there. But
Aw.
so it's just me and her. We just moved to Kelowna in BC. So we left everything, moved here because it's amazing. But I already am feeling overwhelmed. But you can have bubbles after, Kate. But I just want to pour everything into my bat signal. Like I want to create like self-love journals and programs and courses for that. But I also, right now, my sole income is coming from my mentorship and my network marketing.
Okay.
So just getting help for that is what you're saying.
Yeah. This is what I had to do. You're in exactly where I was at. So I was in where I was, I had created programs and they still exist and stuff, right? So but I had my lead group for that. And then I brought myself out and I was like, but I need to serve this way. And when I brought myself out, I had to start this other group because it couldn't happen with this other group because then it's bait and switch, gets weird. And so it needs to start in this other group. Well, now you see me, I'm in this other group. Like I have other people that help with that. I'm for the most part in this other group, right? And so that's a decision that you have to make. I understand if most of your income is back here, maybe we're looking at a 25%, 75% thing, like where you spend some time here and most of your time here. Maybe that's how it works for you, but you have to be so massively disciplined in order to make that happen. Because my fear is that it sidelines you and confuses the whole thing. And I don't want that to happen for you. So if you're going to do like 25%, 75%, I think it could be doable, but you have to be so incredibly disciplined in doing it. That's my advice.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And I do, like, I was an occupational therapist. I quit my full-time job, so I am home all the time. I decided to put my little one in daycare 2 days a week, which has helped, but she really wants bubbles right now. But okay, so I guess
Crystal
I'm just
said we should all
scared
send her
about the
bubbles,
jump.
and I agree.
she has a thing of bubbles. She just dropped it. So she's like, Mommy, get my bubbles. Is the whole predicament here. But she loves bubbles. Okay, so I guess that's where I'm scared, I guess, is to jump my bat signal. Like I love it. Every time I talk about it, I've shared my story, I get huge response. I have so many people message me, ask questions. But it's that jump from just starting that and kind of like leaving my main income to do that. I feel like that's where my heart is. That's where my passion is. So I just need to do it. But that's why I joined this program, because I was like, this is what I want to do, but I need the support.
You don't need to leave that. You can still do the mentorship. You just need to make sure that it lives in its box. And you need to make sure that the box has a lock on it and that you don't even have the key to the box. And the next day the box opens for a certain amount of time for you to work on it. And then the box shuts and then you work on this. Like that's the amount of discipline that has to happen in order to make it work. So I'm not saying let it go, but I'm saying make sure that it doesn't accidentally take more time than what you're allotting to it. You just make the choice. Is that helpful?
Okay, yeah, no, that helps a lot. I guess, yeah, because I was pretty much deciding if I wanted to pour into my bat signal, start courses and programs like that, or start programs and courses for my mentorship. But I feel like I'll be a lot more fulfilled if I just go into my bat signal and then just keep my mentorship going as like, so right now it's just a monthly subscription. So I just do trainings. And then once, I just don't want to be doing those every single day for 10 years. Right. So that's why I was switching to do quarterly trainings that they could just buy, like month 1 to 3, 4 to 6 or whatever. And then I don't have to be in those. They'll be like evergreen and just keep happening.
Yes. There you go. Evergreen's the way to go. Because people are still getting like stuff that I've created that I don't do a whole lot with, but it's there and it's good material and they're still going to get it because it's evergreen. So yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much. That's exactly what I thought, but I just needed to hear it. So
good.
I'm glad I was able to get my question.
Good. It's good to see you here, Megan. All right. Hannah, I'm going to lower your hand and then we're going to pop out for the evening because it's snuggle time. It's 8:05 now.
First, I just want to say I can't believe I actually made this live. This is like the first time since I started HBR that I've actually got to make a live momentum call. And you guys look like you have so much fun every single Tuesday. I'm like, dang it, I have to make it live.
Yes.
But anyway, so I did want to say, I kind of like took a pause, like you were saying earlier about how you pick the one thing. And I think Bridge really helped that because you really focused on helping us, pick one income stream to like focus on or something that could eventually, be your income stream.
Yeah.
And that really helped me because I'm a course junkie. I like to get all the things and I'm like, wait a minute, I actually have to execute this at some point. So I had to like take a pause from all the learning to actually start executing.
Yeah.
And so I was really focusing on where like my one thing was, as far as the thing I was seeing the most momentum from. And that was, I was being more consistent on. And the thing that I noticed while I'm still kind of like, I had to pivot, like, I don't remember how long ago, I think it was like a few weeks ago, right when I first started HBR and did the mindset stuff, I realized that my bat signal is completely different. I think we've already talked about this, but so I'm still working out what that's going to look like. And I have a deadline for myself to get that launched. But as far as what I've noticed that has been consistent is my website, my blog that I started with all my affiliate links. And I have been getting traction from a certain company, and actually did a partnership video with them for Mother's Day. So there's actually, it's not a whole lot, but it still is a income that can, get bigger. So that is coming from my blog, and I do have consistent views and subscribers that are increasing all the time. And so my own thing about that is, I just wanted to kind of like ask you what you think about this, because I do have a Get Oiling account, and I've already actually asked this in the group, and I took a lot of suggestions and kind of started working on it. But if I were to be in a sweet spot right now with the website I already created and I understand it, it's not hard for me to understand. It's just with WordPress, and there's a place where I can do the courses on there too. They've updated a lot of things on there where it makes it almost as easy access as Get Oiling. I just have had a hard time deleting that or getting away from that when that's in my successful consistency. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So yeah, what's your advice on that?
Yeah. So the way that I've set it up is I actually never set up my actual website with Get Oiling. What I used from Get Oiling was the CRM and so like the contact manager. And the vaults, the courses and that sort of thing. And the reason why, and the texting and stuff, the reason why is because you can't get all of those things together for less money, first of all. But it's just a really great way to have all of those things together. Now, my main website was a WordPress website. And that's because that's what my website already was before I even came into contact with Get Oiling. And so what I did is Get Oiling was just like my landing pages and sales pages and stuff. Those were just subdomains. So those were subdomains off of, and they, you know, you can link out a tab to a subdomain. I mean, it still looks and functions as though it's part of the website, but you just link out to it. And the reason that I use them for like the housing of the courses and stuff too, is because it's just so easy to have a sales page. They're opt in to the email, and then they automatically, the vault stuff all works together. So you don't have the potential points of failure, which is what like the scary thing of when you hook things up. So like, you know, MailChimp and then Kajabi and then this and then that. You've got all those potential points of failure. Every connection is a potential point of failure, which means that could maybe not work. That could maybe not work. That could maybe not at any given time. And that just gives me a heart murmur. So if we can like reduce the potential points of failure, that's what I utilize Get Oiling for. My website stood by itself. And then I linked out to Get Oiling resources.
Got you. That makes so much more sense. I've been literally wrestling with that for the past few weeks. I'm like, man, I have built such a good consistency on this platform, and I just don't want to lose that in the link to my affiliates and try to figure all that out on Get Oiling. I feel like that's just going to take so much extra time where I don't need to put that extra time in. If that makes sense.
I wouldn't jack with it at all because you're SEO. So I'm an SEO nerd. If your site has been there and is doing well already, you're going to jack the SEO all the way up in order to whenever you move it. So leave it as it is and just link out to resources. That's absolutely 100% what I would do.
Okay. Cause I'm thinking about like changing the name of it, but I'm not like, it's not going to be a different platform or anything, but I mean, it just has all my stuff on there already. And I have all my followers already on there. So that was just my main thing. And if I can just use the Get Oiling and not feel like I have to update it to the bigger, membership, and just stick to like the basic for right now. That way I don't feel like I'm paying for a whole lot, if that makes sense, before I'm making enough. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's totally what I would do. Gabriella said, what is SEO? It's search engine optimization. And I did a training on SEO in the Heart Centered group in the guides section. If you want to go in there and check it out, that's like on how to be able to move your website up. Basically it's how to move your website up on Google and the other search engines. But I mean, is there another one other than Google? So but
so that was my question.
Cool. Well, that's easy.
Yeah, that's a lot of clarity. I've been using WordPress since I was 14. So I'm like, I know this really, really well. So I'm kind of weird about change. And so when I have to completely learn something else, it kind of messes with me a little bit. And so yeah, I was like, when you said that, focus on what's working already, I'm like, okay, well, this is working. So I think I could just stick with this
Yes.
for now.
I love
So.
WordPress. I heart WordPress. If WordPress were a person, I would send it birthday cards. You know, like
I know, right?
love WordPress so much. Yes.
Yes.
It's for
so easy.
It's easy. It's fantastic SEO. It's just great. It's just great.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool.
Thank you.
Oh, well, you guys have the best night ever. I'm going to go ahead and pop out of here and snuggle with my baby, but this has been a whole lot of fun. I'm glad that it was helpful to talk about the topics that we talked about. I'm glad that we got to get it out, and I'm glad that we got to talk about them and get some movement going and hopefully some like new ideas percolating. But you guys have the best night, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.